Padres, they just keep throwing ish against the wall, seeing what sticks. Let's talk about the latest news on this episode of Padres Digest. What's going on, everybody? Christian Pedersen back with another episode of the show that, like I said in the group chat, today's magic trick is watch me talk myself into a career sub-200 hitter being the missing piece for the Padres. If you want to follow along with my ongoing mental deterioration this offseason, always appreciate the follow. Comments as well, because you guys do sometimes talk me down from some of these points. But okay, hear me out. We got the we'll start with the headline that makes you think that this is something, as I call this up here. Apologies for looking. I'm always looking over at the computer for my next cue here. A sneaky ad. The sneakily ad is you guys are always quick to call out when our headlines are clickbait. This is a clickbait. Nothing sneaky about adding a guy who is a sub-200 hitter to the Padres. Who am I talking about? Let's get around to the actual story here. Nick Schnell is his name. He's a 2018 former first-round draft pick who went through the Rays system initially and then has played for the Nationals system most recently. I guess my very first question on all of this is, does being a first-round draft pick do anything for you in baseball? And I ask that for you guys as the consumer. I know it does something for you as a player, but as you a consumer, I don't think that there's necessarily the hype, expectations, guarantees, culture, stigma, all of the pieces around it that go with those saying like, oh, this guy's a first rounder, so he's guaranteed to have something or he's a bust. But yeah, it obviously means at one point a team saw something in him as a high schooler. He's still only 25, so we're getting a guy he's a project, but he is into the like Turso is the same age as him, so this is a guy that should be in his window to being a contributing Major League Baseball player kind of soon. Here's the details on him. As always, apologies to everybody on a phone if this text is too small. I'm here to read it for you. Across 7 minor league seasons, Schnell owns a career slash line that you can see there, 245 hitter overall. The numbers overall are not impressive, but Schnell tends to hit in bunches. He'll work on his consistency with the Padres, but when he is hot, he is tough to slow down. Just this past season, he hit 333 in April, then 385 in July with 11 home runs. So there are pieces there. I don't think that this is entirely just the Padres like picked a random dude and was like, oh, he's free, we'll have him fill a slot. But they said, hey, who's a guy who at his best delivers something that the Padres need, which I think is power. And let's just see if we can't figure out how to get him to more consistently give us his best. Maybe not always, like he's not going to necessarily turn into Barry Bonds and have his head grow 5 times the size and start smashing home runs everywhere. But this is a guy that is a left-handed hitter who's 25 with some upside of power. Maybe you disagree and you say, Christian, this isn't somebody that we need to know about at all. I feel like that's a name where I'm like, okay, I will at least, I will bookmark this guy, be like, I'm curious what this turns into. I'm also saying this because if you look just at the way the Padres are comprised, center field and all of the outfields are booked or are not booked, are filled with the presence of a platinum glove winner in right in Fernando Tatis Jr., a 10-year $100 million contract signing in Jackson Merrill in center. And then in left, we got Ramon Laureano for one more year guaranteed. Like we have him for one more year, but I think we should have him for more than that. And that being said, nobody is guaranteed to be Cal Ripken and play all game every year, all career. And so we've seen it. There are times where you do technically need backup outfielders. A lot of you guys like Bryce Johnson. I think Turso did not get a fair shake last year in terms of number of at-bats to really see what he had at the major league level. I think there was a little bit more panic and chaos around trying to find a left fielder to come in and actually play. And because we had Jason Hayward out there and Connor Joe, and maybe it just wasn't the right situation for him. But given that we can now put Turso on the bench and ease him into just seeing what he's got, like he can be him and Bryce, to me, have the backup outfield positions, if you will, filled. So what am I saying? I'm saying that we got a guy now in the minors who is an outfielder with inconsistent power. Like, I'm not saying that he's going to compete with any of these guys, but given that we have our outfield locked up, and Gavin Sheets, yes, is in this conversation, but I think given where the roster is headed, is most likely going to be more spending time at first base this year. The Padres are back to where we were last offseason, of having no depth whatsoever and needing to do more than just be like, oh, we're going to sign one veteran dude to be the Army switchblade that just fills all the need. That doesn't those guys exist every year, but that doesn't really solve the problem, because baseball being baseball, like some guys just need a week off. Some guys are just not hitting this month, this, that, and the other. We saw it last year where everyone was hot and cold at way different polar opposite times. And sometimes you just need more than one piece to go in as the fixing of the puzzle. Sometimes guys just physically just need a night off. And you need to have some sort of degree of a group of like 4 dudes at least on the bench who are competent baseball players. I don't see that necessarily right now. So to me, I'm saying, I don't want to go like Vince Papale open auditions and be like, let's just have everybody in San Diego try out for being numbers 24 and 25 on this lineup. But why be exclusive right now, in my opinion, of thinking that any of these guys are, give me Turso, Bryce, Campy at catcher, this guy, that guy, perfect, team's all set. I don't want to lock into endorsing anybody for being on the bench. And then, if that means that I'm going to get to ride the lightning that is seeing former 2018 first-round draft pick Nick Schnell have a career resurgence with the Padres, great. If that's him, if that's watching him come up and hit 3 home runs at the major league level, great. I don't know. I don't have the crystal ball to look ahead and tell you guys that, the Padres have found their next superstar. But I will tell you that I'm at a point where right now I have no reason to exclude anybody in our organization from being part of our opening day roster, just given the need that I think we have for depth. So I'm curious what you think. Schnell mean anything to you guys other than the word being hurry in German? Let me know. Drop a comment. Talk to you next time. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. See you guys later.